asking the dog feels different than telling a dog. What do I mean by that? It feels different in all sorts of ways, but it feels different in our bodies, in our energy. And those are the things the dog is going to notice. If I ask a dog to do something, it comes out inquisitive. My body softens. When I tell a dog to do something, I kind of stand a little bit more upright and it's a little bit more bossy. Ah, yes. Today on the podcast, I am re-examining the concept of ask, don't tell. Because if you want to create a deeper, more connected, cooperative relationship with your dog, we need to stop telling and we need to start asking. Let's get into it. Ready to have a calm and peaceful life with your dog without the stress of those fear-based behaviors? Hi, I'm Tracy, and I've been there, overwhelmed by all the conflicting dog training advice and unsure of what to do next. But now I help dog lovers like you simplify your life with your dog by building confidence naturally, fostering trust, and addressing those fear-based challenges. So, if you're ready, stop chopping those chicken wieners and let's get to it. Hey there, friend. If you're anything like me, you probably didn't picture yourself doing multiple about turns or having to stop your dog every 5 minutes when they see another dog or a person, or sticking your hand in that gooey, slobbery mess of liver treats in your pocket just to get through a simple walk. Am I right? It's not what you imagined, and honestly, it's pretty exhausting. And that's exactly why I created the Fearless Framework, a self-paced online program that helps you ditch the repetitive obedience thing, if that's not what you're into, and start leading your dog with calm confidence. And once you reach your dog in this way, well, everything else in your life gets easier. Inside, you're going to learn how to communicate clearly the way your dog understands, build real connection, and finally enjoy your time together without all the frustration and the pocket full of treats. You'll get on-demand training, a supportive community, monthly Q&A, video analysis, and more tools to help you lead, well, your way. So if you're ready to stop surviving and start actually enjoying your dog again, head on over to beyondobedience.ca/fearless to join us inside the Fearless Framework. I can't wait to start this journey with you and your dog. I'll see you there. Well, hello, my dog-loving friend. It is Tracy. Welcome to Beyond Obedience. Hey, have you heard the story of my time in Texas and that 9-day intensive training I did with my mentor, Nelson Hodges? Have you heard that story? I wanted to kind of point this out because this came up for me again. And it's funny to me how things have to come up for me multiple times. And I think I understand it. And I'm like, yeah, I totally get it. And then it hits me at a whole other level. So let me explain. In case you haven't heard the story, I was in Texas. I had a dog. He was a jerk. I had to work with him for 9 days. By the end of the 9 days, I love the dog. You know, it's the classic story. The dog was a jerk and now I love him. You know the story. Anyway, I digress. There was a moment where I was standing outside of the building. I was talking to Nelson, and I had Jace, this husky, beside me, and he was obviously getting bored. So he decided that he was going to jump up on the hood of our rental car. And I was like, oh, and I used my leash and I pulled him off the car. And that was the time that Nelson turned and he looked at me and he said, you could have just asked him. And I immediately got defensive and I was like, it's a rental. Like, I'm not paying for damages done to this car. Right. And he was like, yeah, well, Jace doesn't know that. And this wasn't the first time that I had heard this concept of ask the dog. It's a thing that Nelson says all the time. Ask the dog, don't tell the dog, all of that good stuff. But I've also heard it in my work with natural horsemanship. I've heard many a natural horseman say to me things like, ask the horse, but ask until you get the right answer. And I've even heard the phrase, if you didn't get the right answer, perhaps you didn't ask the right question. And all of those things were to say, to basically put the onus back on me to figure out what's the best way to connect either with the horse or with the dog. This idea that, in particular with dogs, we inadvertently tell our dogs to do things all the time, and we don't always realize that we're doing it, right? And one of the things that just sort of dawned on me as I was thinking about that yet again, thinking about this concept of asking the dog and not telling the dog, was that asking the dog feels different than telling a dog. What do I mean by that? It feels different in all sorts of ways, but it feels different in our bodies, in our energy, and those are the things the dog is going to notice. If I ask a dog to do something, it comes out inquisitive. My body softens. When I tell a dog to do something, I kind of stand a little bit more upright and it's a little bit more bossy. Now, before anybody comes in the comments, because I think this was one of the points that I made when that one woman told me it was drivel, like that what I was saying was drivel. And I was like, wow, you're very passionate about dissing me. I obviously know that there are times when we may have to tell our dogs. Don't get me wrong. But I truly believe that most of my training as a young person going to dog training had more of a tell the dog and keep telling them till they do it right vibe. And this idea of asking the dog actually gives my dog some agency, right? Telling them takes that agency away. So when we're talking about having a cooperative relationship with our dogs, how can we expect cooperation when we are simply telling our dogs and not taking the time to ask? Now, why do we humans default to telling our dogs as opposed to asking our dogs? Great question. And I think one of the reasons is because humans are hand-eye dominant, whereas dogs tend to be nose-mouth dominant. What does that mean? That essentially means that we rely on our sight and we're grabby guts. We were just grabby humans. grabby guts. Ooh, what? Grabby humans, right? Our natural inclination is to touch and grab things. Whereas dogs, they lead with scent and space, and they use their mouth, right? To grab things and hold things. So when we reach for our hands, we often skip the dialogue and we jump right to direction. And that's not always wrong, but it does bypass consent and connection. And there's actually some cool neuroscience-y things that are involved with asking versus telling. When we command or tell with tension or urgency, we can actually activate the sympathetic nervous system. And that's the part of us and our dogs that's wired for fight, flight, or freeze. Think of it like a fire alarm going off in the body. But when we ask instead, we are often soften, we slow down, we invite, and it supports this polyvagal theory that calls the social engagement system. And this system promotes calm and curiosity and connection. And in short, it tells the brain it's safe to engage, which is kind of cool if you think about it. So because dogs are incredibly tuned into this, research shows that they often respond more to tone, posture, and emotional presence than the words that we say. So next time your dog does something for you, leadership scorecard wise, I want to ask you, was it my idea or your idea? But if we're talking about whether or not I asked or I told the dog, very first thing you're going to find out or check is, did I use my hands to move the dog? Did I pull on the leash to move the dog? Did I grab a collar to get the dog off the couch? In the case of Jace, when he jumped up on the car, I literally just took the leash and pulled him down. That was telling him to get off. That wasn't asking him. Did I allow for a little bit of a pause? Did I leave space for the response? Some of our dogs are going to take a little bit longer after we ask the question. And was my goal cooperation or was it control? Okay, now again, as always, I'm not looking for perfection here. This is all about awareness, being aware of how we are using our body, how we are communicating with our dogs, looking for a cooperative relationship and giving them the opportunity to ask things of them and then see what they tell you, see what they give you, right? So different dogs, as always, are going to respond a little bit differently to the asking versus telling in different ways. For example, again, if you don't know your dog's doginality, stop this right now and go take that quiz. beyondobedience.ca/quiz. It's a free quiz. Go do it. Go do it. It's fun. Come back. Let me know what you got. All right. So for example, the left brain extrovert dogs or the life of the party dogs, these dogs might actually challenge you back if you tell them. Or they might get energized by the sense, if they sense some sort of control. Now, LBEs like a little bit of control and they like direction, but if you're being too bossy about it, it's no longer a partnership to them. They don't feel like they're partnering with you, okay? LBIs, they're just going to dismiss you. They're going to dismiss you if you tell them what to do, because who are you to tell them what to do? Those are your left brain introverts. They're your calm thinkers. Who are you to tell them what to do? RBEs, they might get a little bit frantic if you're starting to feel like you're demanding things of them. And RBIs are probably going to shut down, right? Your right brain introverts, they're probably going to shut down. Those are your sensitive souls. Whereas your RBEs, the fearless explorers, they might just be like, Matt, get out of here and then leave. They don't like the pressure, right? For a lot of the RBs, that pressure, especially on leash, is going to just force them to pull through more. It's going to flick them because they're right brain. It's going to flick them over into opposition reflex, and they're going to pull more on that leash. They're going to resist more on that. So knowing your dog, they can give you some feedback. Are you asking? Are you telling? Asking invites, telling demands, and sensitive dogs know the difference. So what are your thoughts on this? Let me know what you think about this. Because as I say, I've been saying it for a long time. I try to ask my dogs as much as possible. I really do try to connect in that way. But it wasn't until, I don't know what made me think of it, I was like, asking feels different. And that feeling is what is actually going to inspire curiosity in your dog. Right? That feeling of inclusion and asking them like, what's this over here? And can you do this? And can we go up here? And all of that stuff. It's just this beautiful sense of inclusion that I love so, so much. Right? So even in those moments where the dogs are frustrating you, take a breath, sort of reconnect, and just have that pause before you go to tell them. Am I telling them? Is this about control or is this about conversation? And then let me know how it goes. All right. I think that's it for today. That was a short one, Tracy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. I think that's it. So, asking invites connection. Telling often triggers resistance. So the next time you reach for your dog, pause and wonder, am I offering or insisting? Because when we ask with clarity, our dogs can say yes with confidence. All right. If you like this kind of thing, be sure to let me know. Give me a 5-star written review on Apple. Tell your friends all about it. Share the episode on your socials. Let's get more people. Hey, are you inside the free Facebook group? If you are, say hello. Drop a picture of your dog. Let me know what your dog's doginality is once you get inside that free Facebook group. Let's talk about some things over there. And as always, get out there today, my friend, and be the person that your dog thinks you are, because your dog thinks that you're amazing. And so do I. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now. Oh, And one more thing, this podcast is meant for entertainment and education purposes only and is not meant to replace hands-on professional training. If you're really struggling with your dog, please reach out to a professional in your area. All right, I think that's it. Bye for now.